I think it's important for us to hear from the spokesperson beyond the economic promises into security, into unemployment, into education, healthcare, agriculture, and many other sectors that they have emphasized on. And joining us this afternoon is the former senator from Kogi West, senatorial district, that is Senator Dino Melaye. Many thanks again for joining us today. Are you there, sir?
Yes, good afternoon.
Excellent afternoon. I want to really thank you for creating time to be on the show today. And I must say that, quickly with all that is happening, we have been, flogging insecurity and economic, economic challenges in the public discourse. And I don't know if you listened to me in my intro quoting one of your sects in the PDP manifesto, which I would like to, emphasize again in my first question to you, because, your PDP manifesto says that your party will significantly reduce poverty by at least 50% within the 5 years of being in the office. How, please, if I may ask, how does your party want to carry that out when other countries look at Nigeria like the poverty capital? What's your take on this, sir?
Anyway, I want to start by saying that the covenant of Atiku with Nigerians and the PDP manifesto is very clear.
Okay.
The issue of insecurity in Nigeria largely should be placed on lack of leadership, should be placed on the incapacity, should be placed on poor security architecture, and completely we have lost moral values. Nigerians are completely disenchanted, so information gathering is completely absent. And if Atiku, and when Atiku is elected as president, haven't done it before. If you recall that when the PDP came into power in 1999, you will recall that there was insecurity in every part of this country. There was agitation by Mossop from the southeast. The south was ungovernable. In the southwest, we had the OPC and all that. But immediately they came into power, the government formed a government of national unity and beef up the security architecture of this country, and all those agitations just went down. You recall that there was the issue of Sharia crisis in the northern part of the country. It was nipped in the bud even before it escalated to any level. So, but what we have now is that we have incompetent leadership. We have leadership that have not focused. They don't even know what to do. They lack total capacity and capabilities. And that is why insecurity in this country is now something else. You can even look at what is happening, that Abuja, the capital of the country, is not safe. The convoy of the president being attacked. Members of the National Guard, the last line of defense and security has to do with the National Guard, those completely the Presidential Guard. 2 officers of the Presidential Guard were killed recently. So what Atiku will do differently is to make sure that the security architecture of this country is being completely overhauled. Atiku is going to be decisive. This present APC government, even when the service chiefs performed woefully, they were compensated by extension of their term in office. After the extension of their time in office, they reinforced failure and took insecurity to another abysmal level. And yet, this APC government decorated them as ambassadors, posted to different parts of the world as ambassadors. One of them is even a gubernatorial candidate of one of the states today. Atiku is going to be decisive about the issue of insecurity. He's going to nip it on the board because, number one, Nigeria is totally under police today. If you look at Egypt with a population of 104 million people, yet they have a police force of over 500,000 policemen. So if you look at Nigeria with a population of 210 million people, we have 300,000 policemen. So with recruitment into the police force, the implementation will definitely have to change. Then there is going to be also condition of service of these policemen will be looked into. Then arms and ammunition will be available for every policeman in this country. That is going to be one of the first things Atiku will do to make sure that the insecurity in this country is completely tamed. And Atiku is also going to work with other ECOWAS countries. Nigeria is going to regain our leadership in the ECOWAS country, not by bringing back ECOMONG, but to make sure that there is a coordinated security relationship and arrangement in the ECOWAS, because most of the infiltration is done by terrorists, bandits, through the Chad border, through the Cameroonian border, through the Niger border. All these will be effectively tackled and insecurity will be brought to an end, because we are going to have a president who is truly going to be commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Thank you very much, Senator Dino Melaye. As a former senator and also a member of the 8th Nigerian National Assembly, I really want to ask this question. Do you believe in one Nigeria, sir?
Anyway, I want to correct you that there is no former senator. Once you are a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for life.
Thank you,
I will not only say that I believe in one Nigeria, but I am a Nigerian by birth, by blood, by orientation until I die. So I believe in the unity and togetherness of this country. I believe the indivisibility of this country. And that is what Atiku is preaching. And that is why we are supporting Atiku Abubakar. And that is why we call him the unifier. Because every state of the 36 states in this country is a home to Atiku Abubakar. Anywhere you go to in this country, Atiku is as popular as Coca-Cola. He has Yoruba children, he has Igbo children, he has Fulani children, he has Hausa children, he has Kaduri children. So he believes in the unity of this country. And that is why he will do everything possible to unify this country, destroy insurgency. And the reason why we have all these insurgencies and most of the agitations is because of injustice. Some sections of the country feel that they have not been just with them. So, and the only cure to injustice is justice. Atiku is going to give every nook and cranny of this country justice. Every part of this country is going to get justice. So there will be no need for agitation, because the man believes in this country, he has faith in this country, and he has a deep knowledge of this country.
For that submission, with all that you've shared thus far, sir, I have two questions for you. One is the follow-up with one of the submission you gave earlier into poverty, economy, insecurity. Going into agriculture itself, the agriculture credit support scheme, which is the ACSS, proposed aims to provide fund of over 50 billion to increase access to affordability in terms of credit for Nigerian farmers. And Nigerians uses majority of its revenue to service debt for now. And I know that in May, come May 2023, if elected into power, where do you want to get money to fund all the agricultural ideas that are sweet on the paper that I read? Pardon me to use that word, sir. And the second question for you is the fact that, let me tilt towards power supply. Power supply today is another major problem of our economy. When you're talking about the economy, you cannot help but, talk about the PHCN. We have had more than 5 national grid collapse since the beginning of this year alone, sir. So some say that Atiku during his vice presidency, strengthening companies like Mikado, so to speak. There are a lot of generators out there now, that they have empowered this company. Now, people are asking, as a businessman, will he have genuine interest for Nigeria with that action that he has taken before as the vice president?
Anyway, I want to start by saying that agriculture is one of the frontiers of our agenda, and Atiku Abubakar himself is a farmer, a mechanized and commercial farmer for that matter. He has over 1,000 cows, on his farm. So as I speak to you, we have a robust agenda for the agricultural sector in this country. Atiku is going to make sure that we go back to the days of plantation agriculture. We're going to go back to the days of the groundnut pyramid, the cocoa pyramid, cash crop farming. Is going to improve seedlings of farmers. There will be incentives and provisions of fertilizer. There will be building of mini dams, nucleated water supply across all major farms in this country. It's going to reorganize the agricultural sector and make sure that exportation of this produce and providing storage facilities for all our perishable crops across the country. Atiku is going to make sure that all the farmers of this country are coordinated, and the issue of exportation will be, there's going to be a major incentive for farmers. There will be grants and loans for farmers to improve their capacity and production in terms of output completely in the agricultural sector. So I want to say that I haven't said what we're going to do in the agricultural sector. I also want to say that in the power sector, it is not true, and it's a fallacy. It's a lie to say that Atiku played a major role in the investment in the power sector towards the tail end of the administration. You will recall that Atiku was not part of the NIPP project because he did not believe in it. He made a recommendation to President Obasanjo as vice president that the generation of power in this country be diversified. That advice was ignored, and because of that, he did not partake in the billions of naira that was wasted on the NIPP. But Atiku, if elected president, agreed. Power will be nucleated, power will be generated depending in capacity to the milieu you find yourself. Communities will be allowed to depend on Kaiji Dam. We don't have to depend on Egbin Dam as our major source of generating electricity in this country. And power is one of the cardinal objectives of the Atiku administration. So I want to assure you that for the issue of power, Atiku is going to nip it on the bud, because there's no need for us having one national grid and everybody is on one. That is why there is repeated failure of the grid power in the last under this administration. But Atiku knows exactly what to do, and Atiku is going to raise funds from the private sector, because he has said that the private sector is going to drive the economy of this country, and that is the ideal thing to do, because governance all over the world today it's like a business. So you need somebody who is a businessman, who has a business acumen to run the country in a business manner. So the private sector is the whole economy is going to be private sector driven. The private sector will be allowed and given role to inject funds into electricity in this country and every other sector of our national life. And that is the only way to get out of the woods.
Many thanks for that submission. We'll go on a quick break to get the word from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined the show, today's conversation is with Senator Dino Melaye, the spokesperson of People's Democratic Party. He has been on the show discussing the plans of the PDP for 2023 election. He's been mainly telling us how and hours of the content of the manifesto and of course of his principle in terms of what he will be bringing to the table come 2023 if elected. So again, I say many thanks to Senator Dino Melaye for all that you've shared thus far. But let me quickly use this opportunity to open our phone lines. Remember, you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 08098877400 showing on your screen right now. And of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and Facebook and YouTube page, both on Silverbird platform and of course on Real Talk with Kike. Sir, again, I say many thanks for all that you've shared thus far. But I want to quickly, come home. That's the way I want to put this question right now. With all that you've shared thus far, I remember I was personally at the town hall meeting as an invited journalist, let me put it like that. And also, I saw how the whole noise began about the obedience, and you and Mr. Peter Obi himself, exchange one or two this thing. And according to you, a leader must be mature, which was one of your statements that you put out there the following day. One who want to govern the country, according to you, must be accommodating and must have a lot of perseverance, which I agree with that statement. However, people still criticize Atiku that he didn't condemn the unlawful killing of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto, and some say he is a leader who is biased, who is tribalistic, let me put it like that, and not expected of a leader to do that. With what has transpired between yourself and Peter Obi and what the street is saying regarding the action of your principal right now, what are your comments on these two?
Anyway, I want to start by saying that the action of Peter Obi that day was very unprecedented. I want to see a president who will be calm, who will be patient, who will be tolerant, who will persevere, who will be very, very not just matured, but who will have the capacity to tolerate every Nigerian irrespective of tribe, creed, or religion. So I just want to say that he didn't behave well because it is unwarranted. It is unwarranted, very, very unwarranted attack by Peter Obi, and that is not the kind of president we want to have. We want a president who will be very, very tolerant, who will be able to accommodate everybody, irrespective of because you need that maturity. Leadership comes with responsibility, and every one of us must be responsible to the people, irrespective of actions or inactions. But having said that, it is not true and totally not correct that Atiku was biased and Atiku was very, very insensitive to the death of Deborah. No, that is not true. Even witches and wizards in the Federal Republic of Nigeria will attest to the fact that Atiku is a unifier. Atiku loves this country. Nobody, including drunkards, will accuse Atiku of being tribalistic or being ethnic conscious or call him a religious bigot. I mean, that is not possible, because Atiku Abubakar has proven more than ever before that he is a very balanced Nigerian who believes in the togetherness of this country, who believes that irrespective of your ethnicity or religion, he deals with you meritoriously. Once you are merited, once you merit anything, Atiku gives it to you. And you can look around Atiku, you will know that he is very, very, is the most, untribalized Nigerians we have running for the presidency of this country. Atiku's chief of 36 years is a Christian and is not a Fulani person. Atiku's medical doctor, who takes care of him, his personal physician of over 20 years, is an Igbo man and is a Christian. And you know, these are two important staff that you don't joke with: your driver, your chef, and your doctor. So anybody accusing Atiku of tribalism must be suffering from arthritis of the brain, because the man is a unifier and he believes in the togetherness of this country, and he will deal with every part of this country equally, not minding ethnicity or religion. So it is not true for anyone to talk about the biasness of Atiku, because every Nigerian knows him to be an upright person, and most of his friends are not even from his own ethnicity, and they are not from his own religion. He has the largest network of friends in the southern part of this country and in the Christendom. Okay. Some of us are not. I'm not a Fulani man. I am not a Muslim, but you can see that I'm very close to Atiku Abubakar, and he has held me with dignity and respect, and that is how Atiku treats every human being, irrespective of tribe, creed, or religion.
Senator Dino, I like the fact that you mentioned that some of Atiku's trusted in-house people, his chef, the driver, and probably his doctor, that they've been with him, they are not Muslims, and all of that. You're putting light to this to also let us know that based on their capabilities and their capacities, they have remained in his workforce and they have been taking care of him. But I'd like to ask you, with all of the hula baloo, all of the noise going around, and you as the official PDP campaign spokesperson, what is the PDP doing categorically to mend its own breaking wall before you mend another person's breaking wall? I know in my tribe they say charity begins from home. And in a situation where even the PDP is not put together, the PDP as a party is not put together, then how does this party want to mend Nigeria as a whole, sir?
I want to start by saying that it is not true that we're in crisis. I will not argue the fact that we have disagreements, but we are not in crisis. Because everything that ought to be done as a political party in this presidential campaign is ongoing. We are doing our campaigns. We are moving from one point to another. We are selling our agenda, our ideology, our manifesto. It is true that we have pockets of disagreements among our members. And I want to tell you that democracy is noisy. And you cannot operate a political party without one or two disagreements. Now I want to tell you that these are domestic issues that will be tackled domestically. Do they have the potency and capacity to stop Atiku from being elected? I tell you, it's a capital no. They don't have that capacity. But as a family, we are looking at every grievances, we are looking at every complaint, and Atiku, as a matured and a unifier, will make sure that we conquer all these minor disagreements before they pull in 2023 by the grace of God.
Say an amen to that. You know, with what you shared thus far, sir, you know, and you're talking about quite a number of them do not have the power, you know, to stop your principal come 2023 election. You know, I want to, you know, bring you up to speed regarding the G5. You know, the last one was Bala Mohammed, who made a statement when Wike visited him and the likes and all of that. I must ask you, with the G5 governors, do they have it? Do you think there's any hope for reconciliation for your party at the moment?
Anyway, I want to start by the Bala Mohammed issue. It's a beer parlor rumor. There's no reality in it. Atiku and Bala Mohammed have no any grievance. There's no problem. It's just figment of people's imagination. And that has already been conquered because Bala Mohammed himself made a press conference and called it rumor and called it fake news. So I will not dwell on that. On the G5 governors, like I said, that the democracy is noisy, and I want to tell you that there's not a problem. It's not a problem. Every political party, including in the United States of America, that have been a democratic society for over 200 years. The Republicans have internal crisis. The Democrats have internal crisis. Today, you can see what is happening in the United Kingdom with the Labour Party. So that squabbles like this are necessary. I mean, it's inevitable in any political party. But do they have the capacity to jeopardize our election? Is a capital no. That it has no capacity to jeopardize our election. And Atiku, as a matured Nigerian, Atiku as a unifier, as an elder, as the most preferred candidate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will make sure that these issues are being tackled before the election by the grace of God in February. But I want to tell you that gone are those days where a governor, a regional champion, or one godfather
All right, I think we've lost the audio right now while we're trying to establish connection with him. Damilola, quickly, let me come to you. What's your take thus far with what he has shared, knowing that in the political scene, anything can happen, obviously, with all that you have shared?
Well, I think that for me, I knew a time when Senator Dino Melaye was all about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And, of course, tables have turned now and is singing about Atiku Abubakar. And I would also like to say categorically that it's just like a marketer. He is a marketer. You cannot give, even if you know that the product you are being given is a bad product.
I understand that we've been able to establish connection with him. Sir, are you there? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. So what I'm saying in essence is that there is no governor in this country today that can warehouse the votes of the people. The vote now is back to the grassroots. The people are now the rightful owners of their votes. And vote will count. The days of writing results is completely over. You saw what happened in Benue State when they were doing declaration of the campaign flag off of Benue State governorship election. With all the 5 governors there, Senator Abba Moro, representing the Zone C of Benue, got up there and said that they are going to work and vote for Atiku. And Governor Tom was sitting there. Governor Wike was sitting there. The former governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suswan, also got up there and said they're going to support Atiku and they're going to vote for Atiku. And the governor of Benue State was sitting there. So I want to tell you that those days are over. We're going to reconcile with our brothers. We're going to sit down and make sure that PDP remains one indivisible political party. But I want to tell you that the ultimate power for each election now is in the hand of individual voters. And Atiku is speaking directly to the consciousness of the people. He's speaking directly to the voters. He's evangelizing on daily basis, carrying out democratic evangelism on daily basis to make sure that he wins more souls to himself.
Sir, wait.
Do we still have him? Senator Dino, sir, you're saying emphatically that the presidential candidate for the People's Democratic Party, which is your principal, PDP, has been spreading the gospel, going on campaigns and all of that. But in a lot of debates that has also happened, citing the Arise town hall meeting as an example, he was ably represented by his vice. Do you think that it is healthy for him not to step onto debate, to even give a word to Nigerians? We would like to hear from the horse's mouth most times. Why do we have these differences in sending his VPs on errands and him not attending to us in person?
I want to start by saying that Atiku is not dodging any debates. Atiku is intellectually mobile, administratively sagacious, and mentally competent. We were in Lagos, where the whole lawyers in this country met. NBA had a conference in Lagos with over 10,000 lawyers in attendance. And Atiku delivered a position paper in that conference. Atiku delivered a very rich paper, outsmarted both the representative of Bola Tinubu and Peter Obi in that occasion. As I'm speaking with you, less than 1 hour ago, Atiku just finished a debate and a presentation before the alumni of Lagos Business School. And Atiku he has appeared in more than 3 different programs to present position paper. That day, Atiku was abroad and he sent his vice president Okowa to represent him. And I want to tell you that the presidency is one. It is one ticket. Both the president and the vice presidency ticket is one ticket. And that was not a debate. It was a town hall meeting for the policy of the PDP and Atiku's administration to be heralded. And any of them have the capacity to talk on the policy and the policy documents of the administration, because the presidency is one. You cannot separate the assessment twin. You cannot separate one from another. So that it was represented does not translate into incompetence, does not translate that dodging debate. Atiku has always spoken in different position paper on different programs. So today, I'm just talking of today, he was not represented. He physically made a presentation today. For 1.5 hours, he was answering questions on the stage. Can the other party do that? I would say capital no. So those who are dodging and evading debates and interview and public outing is Bola Tinubu, not Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar, I repeat, is not only intellectually mobile, but is administratively sagacious and mentally fit. All
right, many thanks for that submission. And of course, talking about, capability, and also sometimes, will I say, fitness is being questioned. I would like to, ask you, because I know I know that, on this issue of Tinubu that you've mentioned and Peter Obi, but particularly on Tinubu, what does the PDP hope to achieve by questioning the eligibility, especially under the section 137 of the 1999 Constitution regarding, the drug issues that is out there? There are a lot of mixed reactions regarding this. What's your take on it thus far?
First, I will start by saying that the Asurog is begging for a healer, not a patient, to start with. And the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear. To be the president of this country, it is a constitutional requirement that you must be mentally and physically fit. It is a constitutional requirement. To be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, you must be mentally and physically fit. And with what we have seen on TV, on programs, with the hands shaking, legs shaking, bowel issues, we know that the man's mental and physical state is questionable. So that must be asserted. Then Nigeria cannot have a president who is a drug baron and possibly a consumer of drug. So the truth of the matter is that we must. I don't want to have Escobar as the president of Nigeria.
Sir,
I need a president.
I would appreciate if we can measure your words properly so that we are not being sanctioned. However, I understand what you're saying, but
it's not a matter of sanction. There's a public document that have indicted Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a drug baron.
Oh God, sir. All right, yes, sir. All right. So, sir, with all that you've shared thus far, can you hear me? Are you there, sir?
I'm here.
All right, fantastic. With all that you've shared thus far, I want to quick, because I know we are running out of time. My last question to you on this platform right now is about many people accept that politics go along with mixed will I say, making temporary enemies because of differences of interest by different parties. However, you know, many felt that you should have taken a litigation against Femi Fani-Kayode for insinuating that you indulge in sodomy, you know, if that's a word to you, if I pronounce the word properly. Was FFK actually making it up, or do you think that you know, because quite a number of people are beginning to read meanings to it in terms of your remaining silent about the expensive word that was used? What's your take?
Anyway, I want to start by telling you that I'm a Christian, and by the grace of God, I am one of those who supported the bill against the same-sex marriage and even all those kind of satanic things. To start with, it is appalling that a man would generate that law, but I have serious sympathy for Fani-Kayode and serious pity for him, because as a drug addict who actually went to a rehab, eventually even impregnated the daughter of the man who is supposed to be taking care of him in rehabilitation. I believe he has mental problem developed from drug taking, and I cannot take anything he's saying very seriously. A man who is married more than 4 or 5 times, who beat his wife at will, who provocative tendencies is inestimable. I cannot take anything he's saying seriously, because I know whatever he's saying is as a product of cheap drugs that he's taking. So I will not waste my time reacting to him. I have been a special assistant to the president of this country. I've been chairman of the Presidential Advisory Council. I've been a member of the House of Representatives. I have been a senator, voted twice as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I cannot bring myself so low to the level of a man who has never contested even for councillorship. And as low as councillorship, Femi Fani-Kayode has not contested. I cannot begin to argue or take a fight with a man whose belly is his God. Somebody who has commercialized his conscience, who have conquered shame, who live on moving from one person to another. I am not going to reduce myself to that level. Let him go and buy form, contest election even as a councillor and win. Then we can now begin to talk with each other. But I cannot descend so low. I mean, my attention is too expensive for Femi Fani-Kayode. I'm only responding because of you're asking these questions.
All right. Many thanks.
As I speak to you, his voter's card is registered in Abuja. Let him go to Ile-Ife, where he comes from, and go and run politics there. A man who has no second address. Today, by the grace of God, I'm an employer of over 200 people. I have investments both in Nigeria and in Dubai, in America, in the UK. Let him show me his second address. Just his second address.
Thanks,
why will I, for heaven's sake, reduce myself to the level of a man who is not employable?
Many thanks, sir, for all your submission thus far, sir. Many thanks. And I like the fact that you emphasize that you are a Christian. And I think that is the takeaway of ending the show today. But before we let you go, you know,